Little Mac, you say you have the heart of a champion. I am going to use the 7 mystical Millennium items to take you down. I am going to use the Millennium Key and stab you right through your champion's heart. You're going to be on the ground, writhing in pain. I'm going to use the Millennium Necklace and strangle the life out of you. I'm going to use the Millennium Eye and shove it straight down your throat and use the Millennium Rod and shove it straight up your ass. I'm going to do the world a favor and use the Millennium Ring to castrate you right here in the middle of this stage and prove that your Lil Mac balls weigh less than these 2 Karibos. And that just leaves the puzzle. Oh, baby, my personal favorite, the puzzle. You, sir, will be the catalyst for the new Millennium Puzzle, because it is going to take 5,000 years to put you back into the sorry piece of trash that stands in front of me today.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Rollin' 20s. We are the show that just witnessed a panel of anime move up in weight class. I am Jeremy.
I'm Jesse.
Remember, you can subscribe to this show and several others in the MSP library at missionstarpodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at the Rolling 20s. You can send us any fan mail, suggestions for the show, or hate mail at mspfreight@yahoo.com. The music you heard at the beginning of the show is by Machina Supremacy. You can find more of their discography for free download at machinasupremacy.com, as well as their latest couple of albums at amazon.com. You have not heard a clip before the show this week because I'm goddamn tired. Then again, I may use a clip for the show this week because I actually took audio during the CWF panel at Fanime 2016. And right now we're going to go around the table and everyone's going to reintroduce themselves in case you didn't hear this last year. Go ahead.
Hey y'all, my name is The Shaded Decree, but my real name is Kevin.
My name's, everyone calls me G, and I play Mr. Hiki.
I'm Reagan, and I am Ho-In Kyoma.
I'm Robert, of multiple characters, the latest being Blanca.
I'm Daniel, and I am the new CWF champion, Yami Yugi.
I'm Samuel Catarasano, and I am Reality.
I'm Efren. I'm the former champ, Little Mac.
Don't say that with too much structure.
I'm the special guest ring announcer, the voice of Donovan Troy.
I am Rachel, and today I'm Metaton.
I like how you said today I'm Metaton. Tomorrow I might be something completely different.
I probably will be.
My medication rules.
Time too.
We'll never recognize you.
What?
You probably won't recognize you tomorrow.
Not likely, I'm bad at that. So, this is the, second year in a row I've been in a part of these shows, and I will honestly say I've never heard anything quite that frackin' loud within my own ears.
Oh, man.
It was wonderful that I played a nervous character so I could just keep covering my ears in character. I don't know how you guys could cope, but...
I was at WrestleMania this year.
Call the back row.
Yeah, back row helps.
I thought it was called Heineken.
I could use a shot before this too.
Okay, well, let's start off with the obvious question tonight. How does the champ feel?
Champ feels great. Champ feels winded. Champ was really, really nervous because I was in my hotel room for the first hour of the show. I was getting cues from the shade over there, okay, she's like, okay, I'll let you know what halftime is. So an hour goes by, and I'm like, I haven't gotten a message yet. Are you still there? She's like, yeah, hold on. So another 5 minutes go by. She's like, okay, now it's halftime. How many are left? 5. I'm like, it's gonna be 9:30 before I get up there.
And actually, I have a story that none of you are privy to.
Oh?
Yes, because I was in the semifinals with a bunch of other people who had never been there before. So when his music starts playing, all of a sudden all the other competitors in the semifinals besides myself are staring at the stage wondering, what in the blue hell just happened? and I'm the one that just has to say, wait for the music to end, and I will tell you. None of them knew about his history. None of them knew that he was the Yen in the Vault winner.
None of us knew he was here.
And as soon as I explained it all to them, I got a bunch of faces doing this. And all of a sudden, it almost sounds like an a-hole thing to say, but for a minute, I was in your shoes. I have a sea of dumbfounded faces trying to follow what the hell I'm saying, and even then, I'm not sure I said it correctly.
In the wrestling business, we call it kayfabe. Not many people know what's going to happen, and the select few that do are going to get destroyed and beat up in the tournament. So, Gene did a wonderful job, and so did Ken, in keeping a wonderful secret to really surprise everyone in attendance, including the contestants. The jaws in that building, in that power room, just completely dropped. And the silence was, is he here?
Go ahead, speak.
Actually, to add to that, to give listeners kind of a perspective, I've seen Yami Yugi at AX Dream Worlds 2015, so I kind of knew his music. I knew that he was the Yen in the Vault winner and all that stuff. But the crowd, when his music hit, exploded so freaking loud, you couldn't hear anyone. You couldn't hear announcers. You couldn't hear his music. Nothing.
You couldn't hear your own thoughts either.
Yeah. This crowd, insane. So good.
Now, I want to go back to pre-show for a minute because, as I said, I've never seen a crowd that hype before anything started. And it got so extreme back at the back rows with the rest of the performers. I was just looking at my gear. I have Blanca all over my gloves. Go ahead.
People listening, Blanca is completely green.
Go ahead, man. Tell a story about how you got this far with this.
So, I mean, I wanted to do something that was, I was able to speak into the mic because if most of you don't know that are listening, I was the freaky fish guy.
And Donovan will shove a microphone down your throat.
Yes,
Good times.
I've had issues trying to speak into the mic clearly, or hearing anyone for that matter, because it's just a very hollow shell. Rocking and so I decided to go with a little more of a physically comical character, which is what I'm sort of prone to do nowadays. So I wanted to go with Blanca. Just pretty much a monkey.
Okay, those are good. This humanity around here.
Not us.
Nope. What's this?
Podcast Wrestling Federation.
Are you just a trash talk?
No, not now.
Yeah, this moment.
You missed it. You missed it, but we'll be back next week.
Okay, so apparently the Stolies has been free-flowing.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I wanted a more physical character, something along the lines of like a wild monkey type character that people can just like enjoy watching, laughing at. And I mean, at the first time I did it, I took it a little too far, and
I got hit in the head with a car battery.
And he was down for the whole show after that. He didn't say
so
Twice.
And I had to do the rest of the whole show myself.
So I am deeply sorry for that, G.
It's okay.
But this time around, I wanted to, I brought it down a bit. I wanted to just make people laugh. So what I did was I made a makeshift toilet. And I coordinated with G. I was essentially going to take a shit on stage and make G eat my shit. Which is exactly what happened. But of course, unfortunately, I ran out of time to finish what I wanted to say. So, I mean, props to the champ.
Yeah, that was a big
I
this time around. People were really running on time.
I didn't even.
Anime staff, we apologize.
So much.
I mean, this sounds like a backhanded or first world problem. Oh no, it took so long for people to get seated because there were so many outside.
And honestly, I was hoping to get to the second round, which is, I showed Efren earlier, Little Mac, that I made a Little Mac pinata.
I was wondering when that was going
So the thing is that I also made a sign that said Cosplay Wrestling Federation to gather everyone at the pre-show. but that also was a makeshift table. So the plan was, if I got to the second round, I was going to be like, oh, Little Mac, this is what I was going to do to you at ALA, which you weren't there for. So I would just do like 3 German suplexes to the pinata, and then I would just like be looking back at the table and forward, and then I would just bust out the table, get on top of the chairs that I propped up, and jump on top of it. That was my plan.
Dude,
And
I
then-
was so scared you were gonna fall off those chairs.
Man, I really missed this performance.
No
You
chairs were
understand.
harmed to make
I
it
didn't have
show.
the front row seats. I was like so close I could smell his pits. I was that close to him. Watching him do that, like,
Why is it you were closer than I was, apparently?
Yeah, boundaries, sir.
You know,
Boundaries.
I find it very interesting that we always, when we first came to this show, back when Afro City was a champion, we called it Phantomania just because it was a stupid pun. And then all of a sudden, year after year, the show grew, and the amount of investment the characters put in their entrances put it on a WrestleMania level. I had to sign off on so much weird shit, like, we're gonna have a toilet, you're gonna eat my crap, G. Okay, cool. Alright, that's the end of the weird shit. Oh, Rachel, I'm gonna throw t-shirts and throw a giant box. Okay, we're done with that.
We didn't throw the box.
That's true. Box
We
was
took
sat
it
there.
off slowly and put it back down.
And I was like, then Glitch, I got a little sister, and I'm gonna do a stare down cat. Like, what the fuck is going on with my show?
That was one thing we noticed in the backstage was that there was a lot of people with valets this year.
Oh
There
yeah.
were a lot of doubles.
And no one informs the announcers. So
Yeah.
like, all right, I guess they're just gonna show up.
Well, it's more like they didn't want. I told them, but they didn't want to include that.
All right.
Now-
Next year we know.
You played Hohen Kielman the last 2 years.
Correct.
What kind of differences have you noticed from last year to this year?
In terms of the crowd, I mean, I was actually here all 3 years. I was at Phantomania 1, just not competing.
Okay.
Difference in competing is the crowd's gotten tougher each year. They have grown with us. A lot of them are repeaters because you could tell because they all knew stuff was going on, and they demand so much, and that's great. That's awesome. I love their demands, but boy, are they a tough crowd, and it's huge.
There were entries where I couldn't hear them because of all the booing. I didn't know if they were good or bad. Like, did Donald Trump say a word?
You didn't need to.
He was just like getting up and running around and doing that. That was awesome happening and cheering.
Okay.
But like everyone, there were so many people just like running around along the aisles for no good goddamn reason. Just like yelling and starting chants and
Yeah, they're trying to hype everyone up.
yeah.
That was mostly the side aisles. I realized. There was like 2 or 3 particular people who were like hyping people up, and it's like, yeah, that's great, but God, just don't run into anyone.
Don't run in. Yeah, don't fall.
But wasn't that perfect though? Because all the
That
energy is
was.
coming from the outside and just trashing the middle like a goddamn tsunami.
That was. It definitely helped like the audience too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you, Mr. Reality, this was your
Yes.
first year competing, and you pretty much had to hit the ground running.
It was. Oh my God.
And you did.
This
you did.
Yeah,
Oh my
semifinals.
God, you did.
honestly,
You hit every bad note to get to that. I hate you.
honestly, like, okay, I want to say thank you, really, honestly. Like, I've been doing nothing for the past like 2 months except watching WWE, watching Stephanie McMahon, Triple H just cut fucking heel promos.
2 months,
I'm
that's it. We got up your game, son.
Honestly, okay,
WWE
I'll
Network.
shamelessly admit I stole Randy Orton's Golden Boy because that's probably the most heeliest fucking move I can think of in all of wrestling, kayfabe. But yeah, preparation for this was interesting. I had 7 days to get my outfit together, 7 days to write and memorize my lines. I had my brother day in and day out helping me memorize stuff like that. You know, if it wasn't for him, my thing wouldn't have been half as good. So
Sounds like
shout
you're
out to my
crunching for
brother.
exams, man.
What's that?
Sounds like you're crunching for exams.
Honestly, yeah.
I would like to point out, this guy never broke character. Because like after everyone, usually what we do is whenever it comes back, like, hey man, that was awesome, you know, just because we're friendly and everything. This guy never broke the character. During halftime, he just took a cup of water, went to the trash can, and dumped it, and so stinky. And it's just like, he's causing a menace. And I'm like, wow, this guy is not going to break character for this whole 2 hours.
No, I was sitting next to him. We were in banter the entire goddamn time.
I was telling her stuff like, oh, I am reality. I'm the golden truth, the indisputable truth, the one and final truth. I will put Little Mac in his place.
Yeah, I look better in silver, so I mean,
I love hamming it up. So it's like, I'm gonna do this.
I think Reagan wanted to say something.
Yeah, if I can cut in for a sec, just on that note of your preparation, another thing I noticed this year for sure, and myself included, way more just pre-planning was involved. This is a very improvisational thing, and it still was, but everyone had their bits. Entrances. I brought in a double of valet for assistant Makise Kurisu. Christina, introduce yourself. Just
Hi, I'm Sydney, and I was Makise Kurisu.
If I can just interject for a moment, I love the visual of you trying to introduce her and she has that expression of don't.
We chose this because our relationship is very Okabe Makise already, so it works out perfectly. But everyone had their bits. We had memorized lines for the semifinals. It was so crazy seeing everyone prep. Yeah. I just love seeing all this preparation mixed with the improv, because this is real wrestling. We are so close to not, we outlived some wrestling federations, so it's crazy. I love seeing it grow.
Well, we can't on this podcast.
Actually, can we put the focus on Donovan?
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Yeah, because we got to have an
Yeah, Donovan,
yes,
you're an actual ring announcer.
I am.
So, what's it like to be a part of a show that's a simulation of a wrestling show?
Yeah, what's it like to stand around a bunch of losers and posers?
Oh, no. Because who is to say that not any of you, or who's to say that any of you couldn't do it? It's just a matter of you deciding on how to go and to train, right? I knew growing up that I didn't have the physical capability to do flips and rolls and choke slams and RKOs. I knew that I could not be able to do that. So I had to find a wrestling school that offered something else that wasn't just pro wrestling. So I joined the All Pro Wrestling Boot Camp, which was originally in Hayward, California. And I decided I wanted to be a part of this great business that is professional wrestling, but I had to find something that worked for me. And that was being a ring announcer and now a professional wrestling manager. So, Paul Heyman, get your butt off TV, because that's my spot. But until then, I am very, I think a lot of the wrestlers in California, specifically Northern California, may look at Cosplay Wrestling Federation as this mock federation, this all right, let the little boys go and play dress up. But, I am proud to say that in my 6 years in the professional wrestling business, that I could stand with you guys and go, you know what? Before wrestling, I was a thespian. Before wrestling, I was improv. I was drama. I was theater. I was musicals. I wasn't afraid to put spandex. I wasn't afraid to put on makeup. Wasn't afraid to put on high heels. I wasn't afraid to act and perform because I love to entertain, and so did everyone at this table and everyone that was participating here tonight at Phantomania 3. So, regardless of what the boys and the girls of Northern California have to say about what Cosplay Wrestling Federation is or isn't, it's damn entertaining. Everyone works hard and sacrifices, and let me tell you, we drew more than a lot of wrestling companies in California does.
Damn.
All right. And if they want to take some tips, they have Mr. Cree and Mr. G to learn about promoting and marketing and getting the word out there. Because tonight showed that if you work as a team and you love what you're doing, you can do anything.
Oh, yeah. I applaud the statement, but I'm afraid now that you said that everything is going to be inspired out of here, I'm afraid I'm going to go to my car on Monday to drive home and it's going to be shredded with Karibos.
Be careful, the champ is here.
I have to ask you a couple questions because I think you is the only female competitor.
Consistent,
not just consistent, but I think she hit a new echelon because there has been like an invisible ceiling when it comes to competitors in the show, and she managed to get the crowd really really hopping. You know, and the entrance alone, I could not hear him, and he sits next to me.
For the guys who didn't see it, or all the listeners, and myself, what was the entrance like?
I'll let her explain it, man.
Go ahead, just do it.
So what happened was I made myself a janky-ass cardboard robot with like aluminum tubes for air conditioning, and I put it over my head, and I had my valet Hana, who was playing Dr. Office from Undertale. She ran it in a panic and said, I accidentally just programmed a robot to kick everybody's ass, and then takes the box off of me, and suddenly I am Mr. Shiny Gay Robot, Fantastic Extraordinaire, with my mesh shirt.
Which looks fabulous, mind you.
And like a metallic moto jacket, and so, I mean, it's all about the misdirection, I would say. I don't know what they were expecting, because with Freaky Fish Guy, he just kept the fucking fish on the entire time. So there was a cardboard fish head all over it. Unless it wasn't made of cardboard. What was it made of?
Foam board.
Close. Very close.
Gym mats. Foam board gym mats.
By the way,
There's a high school somewhere that's so mad.
I could barely see out of that thing too. There were two like slits in the black parts of it, so I could see where I was facing, and that was about it. So
Welcome to my personal hell.
it smells like cardboard and spray paint. It smells like cardboard. So I don't know what they were expecting, but it probably wasn't whatever it was I was doing.
But you got the crowd behind you, and you weren't afraid to go out there and embody the character that you envisioned. And that's really kudos to you, because so many times, if a lot of people would say, oh, I lost, I didn't go further in the competition, I'm just not going to do it anymore. But you have shown to the fans and to the board that no matter if you win, lose, or draw, you are passionate about entertaining, and you're passionate about going out there and giving everyone a show.
I'm not going to front. It's not like I wasn't disappointed that I didn't make it to the second round.
Yeah.
I'm like texting my partner, I didn't make it to the second round. Ugh, I feel kind of gross. I shouldn't feel this way. It's not about winning.
Right.
But, you know, once like...
And then you saw the second round, you're like,
And then Yami came in, and it's like, fuck, oh my god! I don't care about anything anymore, holy shit!
You did this.
But I really appreciate that. Like, it may be surprising to some, but I actually have thought about going to wrestling school. I do have a friend who's going to wrestling school in St. Louis, and they talk to me all the time about it. And I watched one of their shows, and I'm just like, I have to do that. That is exactly the thing that I have to do. And even if this isn't like, you know, I'm getting paid for it, I'm like a professional wrestling manager, because let's be real, I love donuts too much.
Donuts are delicious.
Donuts and sleeping, I love them too much to be successful at professional wrestling without fucking killing myself.
Well, that explains how you make it to this convention so often.
Exactly, yes! To
I love
like
them
be
too.
a
I still
serious
got these.
competitor as far as like physically, but I love watching wrestling. I love being a part of what is wrestling. I love going to shows. I love just seeing it, you know? I love everything about it, pretty much, except for the weird carny bits of it that make it a little bit janky.
Oh, that's the funnest part.
Yeah, that's the blood
I'll
of
take
it.
your word for it.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with all the listeners. I'm gonna be honest with everyone here at this table. Professional wrestling has a spot for everyone.
Oh, I forgot he had stuff in it.
Everyone has a spot in professional wrestling. You just have to find it. Are you going to be an announcer? Are you going to be a commentator? Are you going to be a ring announcer? Are you going to be a manager? Are you going to be a wrestler? Are you going to be a valet? Are you going to be a referee? Are you going to be a timekeeper? Are you going to be a tech worker? You know, are you going to be a trainer? Are you going to be part of the ring crew? If you are seriously interested and seriously motivated by professional wrestling, there is something out there. You just have to know the connections and really work hard to get into that spot, because you never know. You'll never know. I have so many wrestling friends in this business that have gone on just to do extras for the WWE and for TNA. And they learn so much from those experiences that's what keeps them motivated and keeps them going, regardless if that's what they end up doing is maybe making it to the WWE or making it to Japan or Mexico or TNA or Ring of Honor or wherever. It's just that glimpse of being able to have that spotlight and having that opportunity to entertain fans across the globe.
I feel like that's what CWF is. That's what it is.
Yes.
It gives us the glimpse. And, even if we just do this, or even if we never do it again, it's something.
How can Cosplay Wrestling Federation not continue? We packed panel room 1. Panel room 1.
Guys, I realize that Little Mac's been awfully silent. I think we should give him one.
Yeah, I've been sitting here watching him stare because I have a couple.
I'm listening. I love listening.
No, I just have a couple questions in that regard because you missed a couple major shows, so you got to come back and stare in the face of all this stuff and all these people who seem to have upped their game. What was your reaction sitting at the back watching things progress?
All right, so I've been to the smaller shows. I've been to like Kraken Con, I've been to Sac Anime, and I've seen these guys. I'm like, all right, cool. Kind of see where people who want to get into this, and also try to give them tips and everything. Like, hey, go out, do this, do that. Because me, Robert, and you, Jeremy, we're actually. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just. I'm still here.
We earlier we were talking like, we're kind of the veterans. We were just pep talking to everyone. All super relaxed. When it came back to here, I saw reality come out. I'm like, oh shit, I can't. I saw you come. I'm like, oh shit. Like the game really gets stepped up, and there was a section of the crowd that just hated me because I guess
maybe
they were
planted
hardcore.
our seeds a little too well.
Possibly, but. They were hardcore wrestling fans, and I guess seeing me as a face too much, they just wanted all right, we need a new guy. This show out of the other ones, I felt kind of left in the dark because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna. I got the basics down, and the whole idea is the briefcase gonna be cashed in?
Yeah.
There's so much anxiety going in, like, all right, what's gonna happen this? What's gonna happen that? And so many times during the convention, I'm like, is that Daniel? Is that him? I walk around, try to sneak up, but then he gets up and books it. And I'm like, I don't know.
4 times, by the way. There were 4 instances.
I just want to piggyback.
Oh yeah, take us back.
No, I have this very strange policy of keeping a majority of my wrestlers and staff in the dark. And I feel like there's a good reason. At least I think so. The wrestlers don't even know what order they're walking up until the day of the convention, the show. And I feel, and this is from an actor's perspective, Donovan, that when you are in the moment of that genuine shock and panic, and you just are on your ass, that is when you can make magic.
Hey, somebody else showed up.
Robbie, Moomin Rider.
Robbie.
Moomin Rider.
What's up?
Good.
Cyclists of Justice, Moomin Rider is here!
What? You want to get a seat?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, I have this really weird thing about keeping people in dark because I believe that Mr. Wendell!
The whole crowd is here.
All the warriors. All right, starting to feel like a panel room now.
So, back to this, and I believe about being in the moment, and so that's why I make sure to keep it fair.
Yeah.
Now the champion does have an advantage, where I'll take all the applicants and I take your applications and I give them to the champion.
Yeah.
And Efren and I, we've been working extensively during this year because we knew that his absence from ALA would be a huge target on his back. But
definitely, because I remember we were talking about it, how I had to miss ALA, and you brought it up this is going to be a big disadvantage on you, and honestly, seeing it from both perspectives, I am okay with any decision you make because it's all in fairness. Because me, Robert, we've been on the challenger side, we've been on the champion side, and it's interesting to see everything you put into it, and it's completely understandable, not telling us what's going to happen. I completely understand why you're not going to tell me if Daniel's going to be here. Because, it's one of those things that, I really won't know. So it's my effort to put work into it, because if I didn't have material for you, you would have slaughtered me immensely. There would have been no contest.
I'm like, well, he wins.
Yeah, so there's this element of danger when you perform.
Yeah.
You know, in professional wrestling, Donovan, you have to put your life on the line. And even though we aren't killing each other out there, the way I see it, there should be a small element of danger, of uncertainty, of surprise from the wrestler's standpoint to make it feel fresh and organic. Now, actually, let's go ahead and bring up the other new guy, Robbie.
Hey.
Robbie, you started first.
I did. I was not expecting that, but...
Wait, Daniel is...
Hey. First at the ALA 2015, first here. So you're on the road. You're on the road.
Fanime 1.
Fanimania 2.
So, I have a question I'm sorry if I usurped this. Robbie, you worked a small show, and then you worked a big show. So, like, how was the growing process for you? Like, working that big show and stuff?
So, you know how when you've got a cute little Pokemon and it just goes through one evolution before it's a big freaking behemoth, and it's kind of like, wow, where did that jump come from? Something like that.
I have 3 kids, so I know exactly what that's like.
I love that reference, by the way.
So how did it feel for you, man? Like, going first and, like, how did it feel?
Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah. You opened WrestleMania.
I knew that
you're a lot better than Ziggler. I'll just say that.
I knew that there was a lot of pressure on me to kind of get the crowd hyped up and set the tone for what was to follow. And I just wanted to give it the best I could, get a good reaction out of the audience. And I think that for the most part, I managed to pull that off. I'm always looking.
No, you did. You did.
Oh, you did an awesome job, dude.
I was looking at ways to do even better. So I hope that next time, if I lead the show off, I'll get an even better reaction out of them.
Okay, now, I think Daniel wants to share this. Who wants to know about the great Daniel Caper of Fanimania 3?
Okay.
Yeah, what closet were you in?
Okay, so about a month and a half ago, like beginning of April, I'm really debating, because I live an hour south of Los Angeles. So I'm like, do I do San Jose? Because if I don't cash in now, everyone's going to say, oh, it's going to go to AX because it's 100% sure. So, like, one day, like the day I'm like, I got to decide now. G literally sends me a PM saying, hey, are you doing Fanimania? And I say, yes. And then he's like, oh, here's some Greyhound bus schedules. Oh, you need room. Oh, here's some more like other bus schedules. I'm like, oh, geez, okay, great. So about 2 weeks later, Robert sends me a message on Facebook, and he asks, hey, so are you going to Fanimania? And I'm like, do I answer him truthfully? And I immediately go to G. I'm just like, hey, do I answer? Robert wants to know. Should I let him know? And his response was just,
don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Tell him you can't make it.
So I just say, I might not be able to get work off.
So we were trying to find hotel roommates, and we were kind of full. And Sparks McGee was the hotel, our cameraman. And I says, hey, can we get Daniel in the room? And he says, if it means Yami Yugi and Fanimania, yes. So we get Yami Yugi in, and day zero, I'm walking the line. Yami Yugi is in the line, and the greatest thing about him, he just looks like any other white guy out there.
Hawaiian shirt, glasses, like short hair, like I'm just happy to be here.
So I'm walking down that long ass reg line, and I see Efren with the belt. I was like, oh, you're doing I'm waving, and then I walk down, and in the corner there's Daniel looking like he was on the lineup of The Usual Suspects, eyes wide.
Oh, it's him. And then later that night.
Okay, so later this night, Daniel manages to dodge it. He goes like, I saw Efren, I don't think he saw me. So we're walking down. I'm talking to Daniel. Okay, so here's what we think, blah, blah, blah. We're walking down the street toward the swap meet tent. And directly in front of us,
no one else. It's just Efren and his girlfriend.
Yeah, Little Mac is walking down the sidewalk, looking at us, and their eyes locked. And immediately, I jump in front of Daniel and go, yo, what's up, Efren? I made
an emergency bat turn, just like 180 degrees. Like,
You're lying, because I know the next thing you did was shot a grappling hook into the ceiling.
I saw you that night too at the swap meet. I'm just like, hey, look, Jeremy. Oh, it's Jeremy.
No, I put my arm around him. He's like, yo, man, you ready for Phantomania? And I look, coast is clear. And Everett looks a little bewildered, but he just rolls off. So Daniel's in the room. I was like, okay, I don't think he noticed, right? And then Daniel and I are talking. He's like, hey, look, it's Jeremy. Oh, shit, it's Jeremy. And I went, yeah, Glitch is in that room. So we got the fuck out of that tent. And I'm walking, I'm with Daniel, and I'm with Sparks McGee, I'm with Daniel, and I tell Daniel, stand behind us. Just stand behind us, we'll walk in a straight line. And then I look about, fuck, Oni Aries is right behind us. Daniel, stand in front of us, stand in front of us, stand in front of us.
Sitcom levels.
So then I turn around, and I take Oni Aries' attention, and Daniel and Tom just cross the fucking street at like it was on fire.
There was like 5 seconds left on like the counter. We just dart.
And I like, yeah, what's up, Oni? Like, I just see this awkward, like these two white guys just running down the street.
My favorite moment was when I saw you in the game room. Because if you guys don't know, like the only time I've ever seen Daniel is in cosplay. I look at his Facebook and I say this in a positive way. You're one of the nerdiest people, and I like that.
Yeah.
But when he puts on the costume, he's one of the most intimidating people you'll ever meet. So you just like, I'm just wondering, is that him? That can't be him, because like that guy looks different and everything. So I try to like sneak around. I just see him get up and book it. So I'm like, I don't know. Was that him? That wasn't him.
And the answer was yes, it was. And I was like, oh, it's Mac. I was talking with some guy. We're just like hanging out, just like chillaxing by like the giant Jenga set. And we're just talking, and I see Mac just like go across, and he starts making a turn. So he's trying to like coach me, and immediately I'm just like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. Like literally, we were just in the middle of a sentence, and I just ended. And I haven't seen the guy since, so that's it.
Now we had a late edition. Wendell, you showed up, and I got it. When it was your turn to come up, Robert, as Blanca, runs up behind me and he says, holy shit, has anyone seen Wendell? And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there going, of course he's... Oh shit. And all of a sudden the music starts, and both Robert and I are sitting back there going, no, I don't know where he is.
You and the rest of the audience.
Yeah.
And mind you, like, I'm right after Wendell, so I'm like, what the hell is going on?
The best part was you, still dressed up as Blanca, all of a sudden your voice raises 3 octaves, and I hear, he's over there!
No, that was actually me. That was me. Because what happened was, Wendell wanted to do this entrance where he would stand up and everyone would see him. The problem was, everybody in that section stood up.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of short here. I'm sorry, but Dad didn't give me any genetics or anything.
Where did this idea come from, man? It was the most unique thing that happened as far as entrances.
Well, you know what? It was just like, I knew I wasn't going to be like any of you guys as a cosplayer. I was just pretty much just going to be me. And it's something a little different. And I was just like, okay, what can I do at least to try to stand out? And obviously, you guys are awesome in costume. Obviously, you guys already have some type of there's some type of knowledge about your characters that you're playing, you know, because you have fans. So it's like, what am I? I ain't nothing. So I was like, okay. I just wanted to just kind of just stand up and do it that way, just a little different type of thing. You know, it's just like, okay, let's try this. And so I stood up on the chairs. I'm like, oh shit, this is wobbly. Why did I do this thing? Oh shit, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna drop this root beer on my face. And it's gonna be totally ruined.
It would have been completely in character though.
I know.
Oh yeah, we would have bought it.
But you know, it was something different. And I just didn't want to walk all the way over there. I'm an old man. It's like, come on, man. I gotta walk that far.
I'm just trying to imagine you sitting there. You know what's going to make the greatest entrance? My own goddamn laziness. You know, and I can tell you guys a story from my point of view, because I got to play Mario for the 3rd time at this show. Had no idea if I was going to get fatigued. You know, if the crowd was just going to say enough. Have you seen all of it? Just all of it. And then, was it right after ALA? I didn't win. But even Jesse saw, before we left that weekend, I was already writing notes on the hotel pads about the next group of things I was going to say. You know, I had stuff planned for you as Mac. I had stuff planned for you as Yami. I thought about the Blanca thing, but I didn't know if you were going to return, because you change clothes more often than goddamn Paris Hilton. So, you know, by And the weird thing is, I don't think about this stuff when I'm at work. I don't think about this stuff when I'm at home. I don't think about it when I'm in the bathtub, the few times I actually bathe. Oddly enough, the most inspiration comes when I'm trying to lift like 150 pounds above my chest and make sure I don't crush my larynx. So occasionally I send Jesse like private messages and I said, how does it sound if I call him a pusillanimous piece of Donkey Kong crap? And usually the responses are, okay. So I have no idea how any of this plays. Then I get here at Phantomania. You know, I've already been accepted and everything, and my fear of public speaking is starting to creep up on me a little bit each day. When I arrive and G goes through the formation, he tells me, okay, you're going second. And my first thought is, I only peed a little that time. So, you know, my breathing is normal and everything's fine. And the crowd, you know, I'm watching them file in, I'm hearing the theme music and everyone playing around, and I'm getting more excited by the minute. It was great. I watched Robbie go through a very strong first showing. Actually, I that's a lie. I had my back to it most of the time because I was thinking, listening. You know, I was going through Jesse with coaching since he's my valet. Yeah, and as soon as there's a cheering and I can hear him walking back up the aisle, all of a sudden my breathing gets deeper and I'm just thinking, okay, don't blow it, don't blow it, don't blow it, retain your sphincter, goddammit. And then I'm praying I know anything going on, and as soon as the music hits and I turn around, all of a sudden there's this wash of cheering and I don't know how to respond. And next thing you know, all my fear flows away and I'm just going and stomping down the aisle. And I'm actually kind of proud of myself because my stage fright gets the better of me and my borderline personality disorder takes over. I don't remember much of shit.
Yeah, you keep telling that to me.
I remember half the show. I actually feel better about it. I don't know where it went, but it's starting to come together up here. And it was fun because not just you guys upped everything, but the crowd was so goddamn insane.
Oh my God.
They found cheers that I don't think they've ever thought about before.
Oh my God, those are the most vulgar cheers I've ever heard.
I nearly fell out of my chair when they started chanting micro penis.
And you suck dick.
Your character has become such a staple now to the CWF that it's almost like become the real $1 million man.
That was
wins a world title. It's such a pinnacle character.
That was the greatest compliment I got because I went to retrieve my recorder from under the table while everyone else is filing out. I'm crossing paths with a bunch of people who are just saying, you should have won. Oh man, you're the best. Been here all the time. You're the greatest returning champ ever. You know, it's like, where were you people?
You can always make your own title belt.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it to this one because I did get a couple people say that it kind of undercut me because they felt like I already walked out with my own prize.
There you go.
So I left it at home this time around.
One thing I like about some of these shows, though, is that, like, even if you win, no matter if you win or lose, you're always going to have a fan no matter what character you are. I mean, people came up to me and like, you were amazing, just taking a shit in the toilet. Like, what?
I think everybody got that, though. Everybody has someone come up to them at the end of the show being like, you should have won.
Except Mr. Hickey. And I'm proud of that.
Even before the end of the show, there was a Saitama cosplayer who came up to me and said, hey man, if you go up there again, I've got your back. He actually wanted to, follow me up there and fist bump me to kind of hype me up when I was entering, awesome. And that was just like an amazing compliment for me.
On the topic of really awesome fans, there's these two girls, I like to call the fangirls, because it all started last year at Phantomania 2. It was a Friday, and these girls, they love Little Mac, so they were trying to take a picture of every single Little Mac. They find me, and I tell them about the show. Sure thing, they show up. They stop me in my entrance to take a selfie. They try to steal my clothes. And then this Phantomania, I'm just wondering, I wonder if they're going to show up. Sure thing, they walk through. They're wearing the Little Mac t-shirts. And the cool thing is, like, they do that, like I pointed to them, they did the whole, fade thing. And they came up to me after the show.
You know what you call your fans? The kid clubs.
I like that. But the cool thing was, they just came up to me after the show, and I finally learned their names. For a whole year, they were, the fangirls. Now I know their names, so shout out to Sophia, and I hope I'm saying this right, Maricela. You two are awesome. Hope you guys come to more shows, because they make me want to be Macklin more.
I gotta agree that the fans suddenly make the show more interesting when they're actually into it, because when you announced the intermission, which was a good 60 seconds long, all of a sudden, was it you, Donovan, started polling, just trying to figure out, do you guys know who you might want to see in the semifinals? And I'm sitting in the back, just kind of poking on my phone, posting. All of a sudden, I hear people chanting, Mario, Mario, and he's sitting right next to me, he sees this. Okay, posting.
The wonderful thing about banter is, how do you fill up empty airspace? Well, just start talking to the fans. Why not? The fans are here, they want to be entertained, and who are we not to entertain? And the thing is, I'm so proud to be able to say that, you know, I'm actually in the business and I'm a part of you guys' group, but you guys are actually like showing some amazing growth as just performers. You know, I'm just like, I wonder what I'm going to get to see this year. And I do get to watch the stuff you guys post on YouTube and on Facebook. And I'm just like, ooh, I wonder if that person's going to change characters. Who are they going to be? You know, so I like Wendell, I was like, I wonder if he's going to be the same character. Is Mario coming back? Is Little Mac going to like be a heel? Like, you know, who else is going to join the Federation? And it's like,
Be honest,
it's such.
I'm learning from you.
Oh, come on.
You're different views all over the place, and I see you in Jayco anyway.
It's like I can't wait to see what next year is going to look like, because it's almost like everyone that's going to be a performer is going to be like top tier A-list acting.
We had a
Because you
lot
guys
of
are
debuts
just
this year.
so great performances.
Well, like
Everyone
I said,
did so
it was really
great.
weird standing in the semifinals and looking at 70 faces.
Yeah, kudos to the JoJo guy.
Yeah,
like,
that JoJo guy was good.
JoJo's so strong.
Such a good
Yeah,
man.
you gotta give it up for Ryan though.
Oh my God, Ryan! If you don't remember Ryan, he's our number one heel, and he could have just been doing a pantomime promo because I couldn't hear jack shit of what he was saying.
He was the one dressed as Donald Trump.
Yeah, he was Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Dude, that guy loves being healed.
No.
San Diego,
He was,
really?
he was actually playing face, if you heard him, but because he was just Donald Trump.
I don't know what he expected.
You couldn't hear anything.
Exactly what to expect.
He had a lot
I
of.
feel
he had a lot
like
of
the switch hit is always very strong. Play the face, get heel. Play the heel, go face. Like we've seen that a lot. We saw it with Dio, where he is the evilest bastard you're ever gonna see in any work of fiction, and
World
the
love
crowd
him.
loves Dio.
It also
So
helps
it's great.
that like half of our demographic is JoJo's fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
True.
That why. The thing is, though,
Also, we're
Ryan,
awesome.
Ryan finds the niftiest shortcuts, because this is the second show I've seen him in where he's played the top Republican candidate for president and has nothing. Not a thing.
Just a walk
He
in.
walks up to the stage and you introduce him as Mitt Romney or Donald Trump, and all of a sudden the crowd is so goddamn deafening. I feel like I have to go outside just to see a picture on my phone.
I think there's one big story we have to talk about, and it's Yami Yugi's 1 year chase for the gold.
Oh. Okay. Where do we start?
Like, why did you want it so bad?
I mean, I actually did go to the very first ALA show back in 2014. I was like in the third row. I'm just like, hey, CWF, I'll give that a try. And I have never gone to a panel like that before, ever. When the panel finishes, because it was Afro Saiyan versus
Mr. Dangerous.
like the finals, and shout outs to Otaku Man. I get back to my hotel room and I tell everyone in my room, and my voice is gone. I'm just like, guys, I just went to the best panel you're ever gonna go to. It was like, my voice is gone. There was the same with the Afro. It was just so freaking awesome. Vegeta. And then I'm just like, and then Fanime comes and it's way up north. So I'm like, I can't go to Fanime. So I'm just like, I gotta go to the next time. I gotta go to Anime Expo. I gotta do it. And there's one thing that will prevent me from going to Anime Expo in 2014, and that was if it coincided with the Masquerade, which I had worked with my friends for like 4 months on this skit, and the second that they post when the CWF panel is, I don't think I've ever swore that loudly in my life. So then ALA comes around. It's like, oh right, finally my chance to shine. and I go first. I'm like, oh shoot, jitters, but hey, going first. It really does help. Going first really does help. The audience is really hyped. They're really pumped. So I do well there, and I'm like, okay. And then I lost to the fish. Everyone loved the fish.
Not at first.
For 1 year.
Yeah,
Not even 1 year. It was only like 5 months.
One show.
It was one show, and it was just like everyone loved you as Yami Yugi, but everyone just like couldn't stop laughing at me flopping on the floor like a fish.
So then AX is coming around. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing masquerades here. I am not doing it. I want to try again. So I go to G. I'm just like, hey, I have this really cool entrance idea. So I'm like, I wanted to make like the Millennium Stone, like the sarcophagus from like Yu-Gi-Oh. So I just go to G. I'm just like, hey, I want to do an entrance. He's like, yeah, okay. What is? Can I surprise you? Like, well.
No, I was like, no, I'm the last person you want to surprise.
In wrestling, that's the
So
same
I'm just like,
Don't
so
surprise
I send him a picture with a dollar bill. So it's like this 6 foot tall cardboard with like the Millennium Stone. So I can just punch through 2 holes and just rip through the whole thing. And I go through the first round. I feel great.
No, you forgot what I said to you. I was like, that's great. But I want you to practice that entrance in and out because I don't want a Shockmaster incident.
I think we do. So what happened at AX is that first round I thought I nailed it. Second round I thought I nailed it. When we get to the third round, that is when the butterflies hit, and I'm just like, I have nothing to say. And I'm just like, looking back, I'm like, because there's no video. There's no video on AX. And I'm like, did I act like a heel? Because I felt like I acted like I was like throwing cards. I'm like, why am I doing this? Because I was not even thinking. I'm just like throwing cards at him while he's talking. And I'm just like, I lost. I'm like, I guess I'm done. And then
I do want to chime in. That was so epic. Neither of us could walk afterwards. We had to sit down like someone give us water.
Yeah.
That was insane. Yeah. You threw my protein bar in the crowd. So I'm like, bro, there goes my food.
So we go.
Oh, you know he caught it, reality.
Yeah, he caught it. Yeah.
Sam got it.
Yeah.
That explains how he got here so fast.
So that night, I'm like, I'm feeling kind of down. We go to Denny's, and then like, there's like a group of 4 people in the Denny's, just like, dude, you're Yami Yugi. It's like, we're such big fans. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. Can we like get your autographs? I'm like, I had some leftover trading cards. I'm like, I just signed up. I'm like, okay, this is kind of nice. Oh, and during the AX show, during the second round, I pulled out a little Mac amiibo, and I just like tossed it up in the air, saying, "Oh, being like we're living in a game shop has some advantages." And I drop it, and then Joestar was like, who was he at the time?
Yuki Terumi.
He gives it back to me. I'm just like, oh shoot, and then I drop it again, and then I stomp on the amiibo, and I'm like, that. Okay, everyone in the audience just lost it.
They thought you just murdered a baby.
I just murdered a baby. It was a little Mac amiibo. I actually brought the little Mac amiibo. I put it in the case, but we didn't have any time for it. But this has always been like a little reminder of just like, you can. It's like this has like been on my shelf for like 11 months, maybe like.
So that's how you won Voodoo.
Yes, yeah, Voodoo. So then ALA comes by. I'm just like, oh cool, my chance of redemption. And then he's like, I'm not gonna be there. I'm like, no. So we Mario's there, Blanca's there.
Y'all are fucking badass.
Thank you so much.
I don't understand. I was the one with the white face and the goat horns there.
Yeah. Sorry, we just had a fan like come up who was an awesome as we were talking.
Thank you. In the middle of watching you guys, our friend basically texted us and said that we had won Best in Show at the Masquerade.
So you came to watch us?
Yeah, instead of going
to Masquerade. Did you hear that?
Fans upstairs too.
What? Not a game, man. It's a podcast. Rolling 20s. Rolling 20s.
Oh my god!
Double fans!
Yeah. Sweet.
Blanca! I apologize.
So ALA rolls in.
So ALA rolls in. And I hear it's for yen balls, basically Money in the Bank. So I'm like, okay,
See you around, guys.
I really want to do this, and it's a really, really small crowd. Like it wasn't.
It was small.
But there were these girls who were like, there were like this big girl group of like 6 girls, and were just like, Yami Yugi, we saw you at the X show. And I was like, oh, okay, it's great. So I go against a big boss at the end, and the boss was just really like just on. It's like the entire crowd got behind him, and after I won this, I'm thinking, okay, AX or Fanime, AX or Fanime, because in like pretty much every video, I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be AX or Fanime, and then in April I decided, you know what? If I don't cash in at Fanime, then everyone knows it's gonna be AX. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna try for the secret. We're gonna try so that nobody knows, with the exception of G and Lejeda and Tom, our camera guy. One person did catch me though. One person. It was Edwin Lee, who is
Ryan's
Ace Madoka, Brian's best friend. And I was in a Doc Brown costume like most of the con. And I'm just like looking sideways, like about to do crosswalking, like tapping on shoulders, like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, because he recognized me immediately. I'm like, how do you know me? I'm in like a full-on white wig, got the glasses, got like the full-on suit, everything. I'm like, how did he recognize me? He's like, so I'm just like, shh. You got me, but shh.
I want to talk about something that was really scary happening during the con, because everybody that I knew and all my performers, I gave them. You all know the very special assignments I gave all of you, right?
Yeah.
Except you. I never saw you, right?
Sorry. Yeah.
Which was to talk about the show as much as possible.
I didn't need that assignment. I was doing it.
It was really scary how fast the news looped back. Did anybody notice the news looping back to you?
Yes.
I didn't notice the news looping back to me. I got the opposite end of that because I'm pressed during this con, so I have a lot of business to do. As I'm walking around, I kept hearing these weird little voices like 10 feet away from me. Is that Mario? I think that's Mario. Is that Mario? And all of a sudden I'm saying Mario around my head is like saying squirrel. All of a sudden my head just pops up and it's like,
My friend was at a JoJo panel and they were just standing in line, and then these people was all like, "Yo, man, you gotta go to the Cosplay Wrestling Federation. Like, there's this one dude who's just dressed up as Shinsuke Nakamura, cutting promos all over the place," which was me. I think my back is forever bent now because of today.
Imagine how Shinsuke Nakamura feels.
Dude, my friend Jay was so worried that he like hit your head on the ground because you fucking sold a DDT for him at the goddamn there's the wrestling cosplay gathering.
Oh, yes, I started a pro wrestling gathering at Fanime, which got approved and was a very cheap way for me to gather a bunch of people and promote the show in one go.
Just having a pro wrestling gathering, because I actually ran a male idol mobile game gathering. You know, like all Bishonen, all yaoi stuff. And I still advertise the show right there.
You might have had easier time just buying TV time.
Just like one. 1,000 people are talking about this?
Yes! Okay, now I gotta ask, because our show has always somehow gone opposite masquerades and conventions, which is usually a big freaking deal. How does it feel to gain a steady crowd and make an increase over this amount of time?
Alright, so this is going to sound really arrogant, but I was never worried about the masquerade. Hell yeah. Like, everybody says you're paired off against the masquerade, I go, so what? I was involved in another event, Last Comic Standing at Anime Expo, and they always paired off against the masquerade. And we didn't care, because we knew that our target demographic would never go to a masquerade. So, hearing about the masquerade never concerned me. When I heard that we no longer competed against them, I was like, oh, good, now they can finally see a good show.
Shots fired.
Yeah, it's not that I don't think highly of the masquerade, but I know that our show is way different. Which is one of the reasons why I was so surprised that AOD didn't approve us, saying that they had very other similar shows to the Cosplay Wrestling Federation, such as their Masquerade. So, it was just mind-boggling to see the swell of people. I always get nervous whether or not we're going to fill up a room. I always do. And because...
You've got Kevin Smith syndrome.
Well, I mean, like...
You're afraid this will be the first time people don't show up.
You don't count tickets until you sell them.
Exactly.
Right?
Just because you promote does not mean they're going to show up.
Right, so...
we don't sell tickets, so there's no way to tell.
Not until game day.
What I'm trying to say is, like... What I'm trying to say is, like, the 9 p.m. slot was a good time, but I'm all like, are people just going to get too drunk and stay at parties and not come to us? Or they're too tired or too high or...
Yeah, there was a big time slot change for CWF last year, which was 10 a.m.
No, the first show was. The first show was 11 a.m.
And then
Yeah.
the second one was like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
It was 8 p.m.
7 to 9. I
Yeah.
guess. So much fun. The dates and times are now fun.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody in the artist alley that I knew was able to actually come to this one because the artist alley was 7.
I think this late marathon is actually a benefit to you because that means people have to go somewhere. And that's stuff in the...
Yeah, our number one joke was that we'll probably get a good crowd because now everybody got their badges.
I do.
I gotta get going.
All right.
All right, have a good one, brother.
Bye, Wendell.
Guys,
Have a good one, brother.
we're bailing out as well. Owen Kilma signing off. El Psi Congru.
Gina, Kevin, thank you so much.
See you later, guys.
Great show. Bam. See you next year. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Have a good one.
So, I mean, I guess I only have one other question for the show itself. Where do you want to go from here?
AX.
Where doesn't he want to go?
Well, I mean, he already goes to AX,
Yeah.
but he's got to have some loftier goals because he keeps pushing envelopes every chance he gets.
Yeah.
He's not just crawling down his own head looking for ideas, he's definitely crawling down the rest of them. I get more messages from him than I get from my wife.
You mean like the future of the show, or where do we go? Pretty much, the obvious thing is to start shows in the East Coast.
Nice.
We were considering doing a show at SoccerCon, but
I couldn't get the support hard enough to and it's SoccerCon PR is really hard because they don't have a main forum. It kind of imploded because stuff happened in there. So it's hard. You have to do a good amount of work to get people in, and especially we didn't have. I didn't have enough support.
if you want the base objective, is that I want this show to be recognized more than just a panel. Because that's what it is ultimately, is just a really long panel. I want cons to start taking this seriously. I want cons to actually put this as a feature event. Oh, yeah, come to Fanime. We got the May Cafe, we got Stage Air, we got Cosplay Wrestling Federation. That's what I want. I want this show to get the recognition it deserves.
Merchandise.
That requires me to pay my wrestlers first.
No, you're just making CWF merchandise.
Oh.
Artist Alley commissions.
One
Make a
step,
bunch of belts.
one step at a time.
Have people mark
It's
the
not
fuck out
afraid
in
to
the
dream big.
I'm
Roland Alexander started his dream small for 22 years.
Have a
Beyond
network.
the Mad documentary.
A network.
He's able to live his dream like him.
That is very true.
You know, I think that's something to be proud of. Is that even though it is technically a very long panel at this point, I don't think you've hit a ceiling yet. Not yet.
Unless the hotel goes, they didn't get out long, they didn't get out fast enough. They,
A guy shit on the floor.
I
And another
still
guy
need
hit
to
it.
see this video.
And why are there plastic coins everywhere?
Yelling blue thing.
And trading cards that nobody wanted.
There was a man screaming.
I think we're coming out with too good of a list here.
These are features.
No, but I think there's still building to be done, and I think there is still more that can be had. Because you haven't just formed an infrastructure here. Is that you got a bunch of people that are passionate enough that they're going balls out, almost literally in the case of Blanca.
Oh no, gyro.
Balls out.
Oh right, I forgot. Reality blew his pants out. It did happen.
It happened when I lifted my leg up onto the chair for the second time.
So
you guys,
remember when they were letting Mac up front? They shoved us behind the screen. All of a sudden, he grabs my shoulder and just says, "I have a problem." And he shows me this big gaping hole in the front of his pants. And I look him right in the face, and all of a sudden, it came out before I could stop it. Now's a bad time for a flat tire.
Well, okay, all I can really say is spandex. Spandex for miles. All the time. As a JoJo cosplayer, as a wrestling fan, spandex.
I just it happened, and it happened when I lifted my foot up onto the chair for the second time. So I just hear this, and I'm like, oh shit, there you go. But it happened, and I'm like the audience thankfully wasn't looking at me, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I untucked my shirt. I have the security guard. What was his name?
That's Donovan.
Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott. Yeah, he's standing right next to me. He's watching me untuck my shirt and oh god, hide, and he's just like, bad days.
Mr. Scott, by the way, is the unsung hero. So you know,
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
On his great.
But as I was saying, you've got a bunch of performers that have gone just beyond trying to create simple characters. They all seem to be, I don't even want to say in it to win it, in it to raise it. And, I mean, even the timekeeper was standing back there, and half the time she would show me the time, and I just want to say, yeah, that's fine. You do realize I'm not in charge of dick around here, right? So, I mean, everybody was just doing their best, even if you didn't see it. Individually, it seems like everyone's stepping up. I get the occasional words from Mac over here just asking how my mood is, and it's like, I didn't know you gave a shit. You know? You know, and after the ALA show, I even got messages from you, and I'm always bad with names, so I'm just calling you Yami Yuki, just saying, how did you think the show went? From what I remember, it was fine, you know, disappointing I didn't win, still planning on trying something, maybe I'll change my hat, I don't know. So it just, I think you build an accidental circle around yourself.
I think that's the best way to describe it. It's just,
A square circle.
Snap, snap, snap.
Like,
Reality strikes again.
I was asking my friends, why is this thing able to keep generating the hype? I mean, there's other high quality shows that don't get this buzz. And then I realized something, is that this show's story and characters live outside of the time span the viewer sees. Everybody's talking about their dream matches. The wrestlers are living their gimmick. People are following the updates. They're always excited not to see what's next, but they get to see how people change and how people grow. And Kevin and I were always adamant about not writing any storylines. We didn't want to do any scripted shit. But somehow the story and the drama just bled itself into the infrastructure. And I welcome that.
Anything else you guys want to add? Because he and I have got to move on to talking about the convention. If you want to stick around, you're welcome to. But I think we have really hammered what the show is, and at least giving people a window into both how it goes on in the backstage process. Unfortunately, it didn't involve any death or anyone pretending to be dead or.
Dio died.
Yeah, Dio.
All the other storylines that have occurred.
Not this time.
They did it for the
I'll say one thing.
Sure.
The whole buildup of the cash-in was a lot of work.
It was scary because I did not know how it was going to react.
I didn't know how it would react. The second that I walked in the room, time literally froze. I'm just walking in, because everyone's looking to the back. They assume that that something's happening in the back. And I'm just looking, literally, I look up and the lights are on bright. Everyone's looking backwards. And then one at a time, I see all the faces just turn. And it's the most mesmerizing experience I think I've ever had, in CWF, was just the moment where I walked through the door and everyone just turned around. I saw Mac, and
and Mac was just like, "What's going on?" He sees me, and I don't know if he was legitly like
No,
upset.
he literally turned around and oh shit.
He's like, he looks like, oh shit, and then he like just like threw his hands down like, no! And then I just stare, and I just raise the briefcase. I'm just like, time froze for this moment, and then everything sped up.
You, sir, live a wrestling dream.
Yeah, that I don't think I can go higher than that. I mean, that's I thought that I capped it like the entrance at AX Extreme Rules, but God, the cash in.
Well, that's good to know that you think you've peaked, because I'm coming next.
Not before reality.
That's the comment that gets that reaction. Seriously, Jesus, people.
I do want to say this, you know, being the champ for 1 year and having the experience that I did have, you know, I've had people at conventions like recognize me. G's told me how many people recognize my face, like on the Cosmic Wrestling Federation, people I've never met. And you know, if it was someone that I lost it to, you know, I love how it wasn't. I love how you cashing in was a big story in its own. How, you know, people who watch the show know this is rivalry. They know, you know, there was something between us. And then, just like you said, when you came in that door, like I'm like, geez, did someone screw up with the sound? Then I start hearing the music. You gotta be fucking shitting me. You gotta be shitting me. And I look at the door, and the same thing you had, time froze. Because like I'm not sure if I came to heat stroke, if I came to like I passed out. You were standing there. I'm like, you son of a bitch. First, I was surprised. I'm like, no, I gotta play it off. Because if I just stand here, that's be dictating me not to sell it. So I'm like, what the hell? What's this? Bring the fight. And after that, I just felt the chemistry was so awesome because like we just like
headbutt. I rose the briefcase, you rose the belt. I'm just like, God, this is like.
Well, you know what?
Like, kudos to
he may have lived the dream, you lived the nightmare.
I would say kudos to all people who participated, but you know I am glad to pass the torch on to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're gonna be a great champion, dude.
I wanted to say too, speaking as a first timer, honestly, for anybody that out there that's considering applying to any future CWF shows, don't hesitate. Do it. Honestly, you will find no better group of people that will welcome you into it, that will coach you, that will help you, that will, you know, help you build a character, build yourself up, study, whatnot. I mean, honestly, this is probably the most fun I've ever had at a convention in my life, and I've been going to conventions for upwards of 6 years. So, do it.
Thank you. I have been in this show now 4 times. I've been in the finals once, and you know what? I still come because actually winning is not the ultimate goal here. The thing is, this is the nerdiest fucking thing I've ever done. And the funnest thing I've ever done also. So I am not going to stop doing this until like my legs fall off, and even then, I'll just fucking crawl in. I don't give a shit. This is so much fucking fun. So yes, apply.
All right. I guess as another newbie to this, I mean, this is my second show if you count Kraken Con, which was a lot smaller. I just want to say that this was an amazing experience. It was such a thrill, and I'm just glad to be a part of this group, a part of the show, and I'm really looking forward to developing Moomin Rider further and building the fan base, building my character's relations to everyone else, and whatever the future shows bring.
Okay, and let me leave it with one cap, and G's looking at me worried right now. I started this podcast to talk about comic books. It ended up in conventions and everything else, and I take it with me wherever I go, whenever I see people, because it's fun to do. And I honestly thought that the way I was going to break into business and talk to more people was by being a fast talker. And as a result, I have interviewed heavyweights in comic books. I have talked to all kinds of people up and down the spectrum. I've talked to cosplayers, fans, and everything else. But I never thought that I would be more famous as a shit talker than a fast talker. And I appreciate that. And I want to say thank you. So thank you very much. And if you guys want to stick around, fine. We got to talk Fanime some, but it's been a pleasure, as it is every year, talking to you guys. No analingus stories this time. I'm a little bit bummed out.
Oh, bummed out.
But it's still always fun to see you guys, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I need a fucking drink now.
Are we supposed to lead a chant?
Gotta head back to the room.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay.
Feel free to walk around the con like that.
Hey man, thanks for calling.
You guys want to walk?
Spin that around. Okay, so it looks like everyone's going to stay busy. I don't think we have any extra guests right now. So it's just going to be you and me for a while.
Oh, fun.
Oh, now you're worried.
Well, it was easy letting them talk.
Yeah, I know. So, about the convention thus far, there have actually been a series of problems. I would say the first problem was I was here on day 0 to get my to get a badge I pre-reg for the hotels.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that nightmare.
Yeah, I showed up not long after registration was supposed to open, but the overall wait during pre-reg was still about 3 hours for me, which was very bad when I had somewhere scheduled to be that evening.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching that clock pretty carefully. And it also throws off your whole day when you, after 2 years of going to cons and having the average registration time below 10 minutes, having to suddenly rededicate 3 hours of your day to just getting a badge is a real letdown.
Yeah.
You know, especially shuffling back and forth in the second floor of the Marriott, where I'm sure they have air conditioning, but it was also facing the afternoon sun.
Oh, damn.
So it was brutal in there. And let alone, I posted on Facebook that the Fanime registration is the longest line I've ever been in that didn't end in a ride on Space Mountain. So, I mean, they even had us snaking in several columns, in and out. At one point, they even had us snake into the room for another column to come back out of it. So we got to see a whiff of registration before we were back out. It literally was like going to space tours. So, I mean, it's especially amazing when Fanime usually has a better registration system than Axe. And it kind of busted my mood a little bit early on.
Did something change?
That depends on who you ask, because I'm getting conflicting reports. Some people say that they've they terminated the company that handled registration last couple of years and hired another one, which explains why they suddenly changed from QR glyphs to barcodes. They sent an email about 4 days before the convention telling everybody you need this.
Twice.
Right. But there's other rumors that say that they released the registration company in favor of having no company at all and running it themselves.
Okay.
And then there was another rumor that says that management in the upper level of the convention itself has changed entirely. So there's all these rumors that I'm not going to say which one is true because I honestly don't know. However, it creates a real goddamn mess. You know, I have no idea which is the truth. All I know is that registration was fundamentally broken. You came in on day 1.
Yeah.
And you were in a line longer than the one I was in.
I was in there for about an hour and a half. Then.
Yeah, so that tells me they started fixing some of the problems, but they still had some pretty serious problems. I mean, that line went through the second floor of the Marriott, downstairs into the convention center, ran a few columns in there, went outside in that courtyard between the Marriott and the convention center, wound several times in there, around the garden too. Then it ran in front of the convention center, then streamed down in front of the rest of the Marriott and around the corner eventually. And around the front of the Marriott. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot when I say it that quickly, but that is a good 7,500 yards worth of waiting, would you say?
Because I was in the labyrinth.
It was awful. I mean, I was there with you, and by the time registration was done for you and the few things I managed to squeeze in while waiting for you, we only had about an hour and a half before we had to go eat and prepare I had to prepare for the swap meet. So the first day was really kind of a wash. We couldn't do anything. And that's a sorry state is when your con kickoff is so damn muddled. You're shaking your head. I know you got something to add. That's it? Because you weren't even here for the whole con like I was. You split your time between home and here. And for you, that's got to be even worse because, again, the first day meant nothing to you.
I got a tour of the hall, the dealer's hall, and I think that's all I got before we had to go and help me with the swap meet.
Pretty much. And we got halfway through Artist Alley.
Oh yeah, I need to explore the other half of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really bad when your con starts on a terrible note and that note continues through at least day 1. The line was still there day 2. You weren't here. Day 3, they finally seemed to have it under control. But then again, day 3 was Sunday of this particular weekend. So anybody who was planning on being here, very likely already checked in by Saturday.
Actually, disappointing for me is I didn't have time to check out a panel I was actually looking at. And that actually took me forever to find.
Yeah, that's something that carried over from last year that's still kind of irritating me, is that 90% of the panels are happening at the Fairmont, which is a good half-mile walk down the street.
A little less than that, but
yeah,
it's a decent walk.
But it makes it so disincentivizing to see things that you're moderately curious about when you have to wander away from the convention to go do it. It makes it very difficult to just say, yeah, I'll check that out. You have to be absolutely sure.
I thought I was, when I realized how tired I was. I just didn't feel like walking all the way down there.
Well, therein is another problem, is that you have to add in that walk time if you're going to go do the panels. Even Anime Expo, as much crap as I give them, at least everything is under, with the exception of like 1 or 2 rooms, under the same roof. If you have a curiosity, you're just crossing the building. You're not crossing the block. So that's one thing they have above Fanime at this point.
It almost feels like Fanime's kind of outgrown this convention center.
I argued with that with Steve when he was sitting in that chair last year, is that the convention is too big for the venue, but the problem I'm running into is, where do they go? Yeah. Because there are no other venues like this in Northern California outside San Francisco. Take this convention to San Francisco, you're probably doubling the costs of it easy. And all that's got to be passed on to registration, hotels, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other answer would be, well, there's plenty of venues in Southern California, but is there really room for another Southern California convention of anime?
No, not really. Something needs to be up north.
Presumably, but again, I don't know where else to take it. Sacramento can't handle it. San Francisco probably could, but, again, everything up there is much more expensive than it is just here, and we're only an hour down the road. See, we're not trying to offer just bashing. We're trying to offer solutions, too. But I don't know logistically of a good one in this state.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
It is a problem, and it's a problem for Fanime's people to deal with, not necessarily us. It's easy to point out all the flaws. The hard part is finding the real solutions. Now, I know you haven't seen as much of the crowds as I have because, again, you've been driving to and from. And I gotta say, during the first couple days, it didn't seem all that crowded inside the convention. They have actually started a new badge check policy where they are actively looking at your badges at several choke points throughout the convention center. Only people with badges are allowed on the second floor, period.
Okay.
Yes. It's badge area only. They don't even check your badges going in the dealer's hall. They only check them as people are setting up and as they're closing. After that, nobody's watching those particular doors other than seeing if you're going in the entrances and out the exits. They're just watching traffic flow rather than checking you individually. So it's made it much less crowded upstairs when ghosts are not allowed to wander wherever they please outside of badge check rooms.
It's not the first I've been to Fanime. The last time I've been here, that was
a couple of years ago minimum.
No, I think it was like 4 or 5.
Really? You haven't been to one since?
No. It's time and interest.
Okay.
But when I was there, it was super packed.
That's true. It has been up until this year. Like I said, they've got it under control for the most part. Even the outer courtyards, and I've talked about this with Steve, they used to be choked with people. They're much freer this time around. So I don't know if perhaps ghosts are finding other places to hang out since they can't get upstairs at all. Or I don't know if they've been so disincentivized that they just kind of left in general. But it does feel freer out there, but there's still a major logistical problem that needs some solving in that this building is just not enough. Now, moving over to hotels, we're staying at the Westin, formerly known as the St. Clair. And I got to say, so far, it's a quaint hotel. I think it was built, I want to say in the 50s.
Feels like it.
Yeah, it's a much older hotel. It was recently renovated. When it was bought out by Westin, they redid the lobby. It's very...
rustic?
Not rustic. It's kind of neo-modern. It's like they took the 50s aesthetic and just kind of updated the fixtures. You know, it's like the giant fireplace in the back is now filled with several simulated candles, like very tall ones. It's very homey without feeling too pretentious. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But the hotel's nice. The staff are very courteous. I dealt with some issues. They did their best to placate me and be very nice. And I say placate in the nicest possible terms. It's not like they blew me off. They made it clear that I was a priority, but they just couldn't fulfill my wishes when I needed them. If there is a single problem, I would say that the sound travels very easily between walls.
I wouldn't know.
I heard people talking in the room next door until 1:30 in the morning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Fortunately, I was already up because it was after the swap meet on Friday, so I was just trying to calm down and, get myself into a frame of mind for sleep. So I felt okay. It was just really it's an inconvenience because I can't tell if people next door are partying or if they're talking. So it makes it very hard to figure out if I need to complain to somebody when it sounds like they're just chatting and laughing. Doesn't sound like they're throwing a party.
I can't be in your room. I don't think those rooms are big enough to hold any sort of party.
They are not big rooms at all. I've heard people in the 2-bed rooms complain that they are they're small compared to other places they've been. I think it was just built in a time where people didn't have as much luggage and as much of a need for space.
Yeah.
Let's see, the San Jose Convention Center is still a very nice building for all the talking I'm doing and complaining about it. I don't have an issue with the building. I just don't think it's well suited anymore for what Fanime needs. That's all. Even the expansion doesn't make it feel like it's enough.
There's an expansion?
Yeah, that area where Artist Alley is and where the pit is, the whole building, that expansion finished, I want to say...
You're right. That wasn't there when I came
Yeah,
back.
it finished early last year. So last year, I want to say was the first full year that was available.
Huh.
I think I missed a recent Fanime, but my memory's a little hazy on that. I like the city, though. I really do. There's a few homeless wandering around. It's not 100% safe. Remember we heard that guy on Friday who was sitting among the cosplayers begging, and he said, "You all are going to die."
Yeah.
Nobody came back with a gun. We figured he's just pissy and crazy. I don't know what set him off, but I'm glad he didn't return. But, not trying to bash, but going back to the city, it's actually a little spaced out, but if you wander around, it's pretty easy to find food here.
Oh, yeah.
Like reasonably priced food. I still lean on going to the pita pit. It's lightweight and it doesn't make me feel like I'm fat by the time I'm done eating. I really did enjoy going to Pizza My Heart today. That's really good pie.
Oh, that was really good.
And it's only
Still feel the heartburn.
It's only $4.50 for a New York slice. That's pretty good. Price wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a slice of combination, a bottle of water, and I still only spent $6.50.
I got 2 of those slices with a large drink. I paid over $10 for it, but
that's really good. I don't think we could have done better if we ordered pizza, frankly. I mean, like Domino's, one of the standard chain things. I think we got pretty good value for what we ate, because even though I could have eaten a lot more, I felt okay, and it all tasted very fresh. I know, you're beat. So, I mean, we've already been at this talking with Cosplay Wrestling for over an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Damn.
Let's see, I'm trying to cut this quick. What do you think of the cosplay you've seen thus far? I think it's... Fanime is always strong in cosplay in California.
I can't say. I haven't been around long enough to actually get a good gauge. But if cosplay... I can't say the Cosplay Wrestling Federation was a good indicator.
No, that's kind of unfair.
No, yeah, it is. I can't judge. I haven't been sitting around here long enough to make a informed choice on that.
Okay. I would say it's still very varied cosplay. It's still a bunch of people who are extremely talented. A lot of people flowing around in some very unusual costumes.
No. Friday, day one, we were on a balcony looking down and everything. We saw like crap tons of cosplay. I forgot about that.
Yes, we did.
From all manner of different fandoms, not just anime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we saw Disney cartoons. We saw
heavy Disney princess.
Yeah, I
saw like 5 Gastons.
Yeah, we saw standard cartoons. We saw video games. We saw Undertale. I saw the My Little Pony gathering yesterday.
Oh.
I didn't take any photos because I was a little busy moving from point to point. I've had 2 scheduled photo shoots, both of which went pretty well in my opinion. Very nice people. All of them put a lot of work into their stuff. I've met some cosplayers incidentally during photo shoots because, you know me, I'm not very good at big photo shoots anymore. I prefer to grab people. And I found people who weren't just willing to come with me to take photos. A few of them, even by the time I was done, I said thank you, and they said, wait, can you wait for one more because we wanted to do this thing, and we think you can help us out with that. And thankfully, they didn't mean threesome. They meant they had a particular pose in mind they wanted to try, and I guess they felt comfortable trying it with me, at least.
That's good.
Yeah, so I've met some wonderful people, and I'm happy with that. And as much as I've said before, I'm probably going to be toning down my presence at anime cons. I wouldn't mind still visiting this convention if it fell within my schedule. I don't think it's going to for the most part, because I do think we're going to focus a little more on comic books upcoming. That seems to be the group decision we made.
Yeah.
I still have Anime Expo coming. I'm not coming into that cynical, although I'm still confused by everything that goes on with it. However, I think Fanime legitimately should be a larger con, and the only thing holding it back is the space it's in.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
You know, as much as trouble as registration has been, that could be just one hiccup, and now they seem to have figured it out for the most part. Hopefully they'll have it all smoothed out next year, and everything will be much better. But this convention runs 24 hours for almost 3 continuous days.
Wow.
It does. I mean, the convention officially opened at 2 p.m. on Friday, and it does not close until 5 p.m. Sunday.
2 p.m. on Friday?
Remember, the dealer's hall did not open until 2 p.m. because it was after opening ceremonies. There were certain other things that were open. The entertainment hall opened a little earlier, but the convention itself didn't officially kick off until opening ceremonies was done. So, like I said, 2 p.m. Friday all the way through to 5 p.m. Monday. So yeah, that's over 3 solid days of potential conventioneering. The music you hear in the background right now isn't just pumped through the speakers. That's stage 0 directly above us.
Oh, really?
Yes. It may not have things actively on the stage, but they do late night events. The entertainment hall, I don't believe, closes till 2 a.m. And they will have the occasional thing that does go on up there. Right now, I just think they're doing DJ spinning to keep people moving. And I mean, we're sitting here, it's past midnight, I'm sure of that. It's 1:14 in the morning right now.
Dear God.
We have a problem. And yet,
Glad
it's
I'm
not
driving tonight.
It's not like the convention center is bare. There's people everywhere. Not crowded, but there's definitely active
There's
people.
a crowd at the opening doors.
There's active people everywhere. This convention could be a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
And they're not drinking to enjoy it.
Oh, some of them were. You remember that lady when we were
yeah.
walking over here? She and her friend were smashed.
That's an interesting crime.
Yeah.
With the LED shoulders.
Yeah. It looks like he needs to play for the Rams. So, I'm not going to say... I say I've had some bad experiences at this convention, but I'm not going to say it's a bad convention so far.
No, far from that.
There's still a full day to get a full opinion, but so far I'm positive on it. Hopefully we don't have an ALA incident where we record a show and then it takes a terrible downhill turn. So I look forward to seeing what tomorrow holds. I look forward to going home. I look forward to cutting a complete show on the Conover with Anthony on this.
Huh?
And I still look forward to trying to tweak Mario just a little bit more to take it over the top.
You did pretty good this year, but there were some really good guys.
It felt like it was close. It did feel like I was just on the verge of doing something great. So, hey, you guys want to come over for a minute? We're just cutting a podcast. We're trying to get opinions on the convention. Okay, take a seat for a minute.
Might as well.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
What's your name?
I'm Jason.
Jason, and?
I'm Anthony.
Okay, so what do you guys think of the con so far?
It's a big con.
Yeah?
It's pretty nice, I enjoy it.
You sound a little apprehensive there, like someone's bothering you.
No.
Okay. So, you guys seen anything interesting so far? Or did you guys come from the rave or anything?
No. We just came to the Gong Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was insane.
It was fun.
Okay, where are you guys staying at?
We're staying, actually, we're off-site. We're like way out in Sunnyvale.
Okay.
Because the hotel room's booked super fast.
Right,
It's just really hard to get.
That was almost a problem this year. You guys find what you're looking for in the dealer's hall? Or is that not really your thing?
Well, I got this Kigu.
Oh, nice.
I'm wearing like the best sloth Kigurumi ever.
Yeah.
I found a phone cover, which is what I was looking for. So that was good. I found what I was looking for.
All right, cool. How's staff treating you guys so far? They
Pretty
been
good.
bad?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And is there anything you think they should add for next year? Or any changes they should make?
Not that I can think of.
Actually, yeah, this is a pretty well-rounded con.
Yeah,
I've gone to a lot of cons.
they seem to handle their stuff pretty well.
All right, and I spent like a good 3 hours in registration. You guys do that too, or do you have an easier time?
Oh, so there's a trick to registration.
Yeah, there's a trick.
So
Yeah.
you know
You
how
register.
this year Clockwork Alchemy was also partnered with Fanime?
Yeah.
So what you could do is if you took the shuttle to the Doubletree?
The Doubletree.
The Doubletree Hotel where they're doing the Clockwork Alchemy registration.
Okay.
5 minutes in, out.
Oh!
Wow,
Because
okay.
both the Clockwork Alchemy and the Fanime badges will get you to the same places.
Okay.
So as long as you could just go to the other one and just go in and get your badge really quick.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a good
neat
trick.
trick.
It's a good trick. It's a good trick.
All right, awesome. Thanks for stopping down, guys.
No problem,
It's always
no
great
problem,
to get
no problem.
opinions other than ours.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Meet
yeah.
you.
Nice
This
to
was
meet you.
great.
This was fun. Yeah.
Have fun with your podcast.
We'll try. Enjoy the rest of the con, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
They know the secrets.
A few of them, although the lady that came with a sword, I wasn't sure if she was going to threaten me or them. She looked a little irritated about waiting. Oh, anyway, she went with them. We're safe.
You're safe.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, even though I know tomorrow's going to be a little... It's going to be a little crazy because it's the same syndrome that happens at most conventions. People are going to check out of their hotels midday and have nowhere else to be but the convention until it closes. So, me personally, I don't know if... I may be one of the first people in the convention because it'll be quiet during those first 2 hours from 10 to 12. But after 12, it's going to be kind of busy, so I may stop for an early lunch. How about you?
I plan on being on the road by that point because I got work.
True. Very true.
If I can get a quick run through the dealers, through the Artist Alley, that'd be great. After that, I'll be done.
Yeah, the guy who does the webcomic Spinner Red, he came back with his printed editions.
Who?
I never learned his name. He has a webcomic called Spinner Red.
Okay.
It is about a lady who's bitten by a genetically modified spider, but unlike Spider-Man, she permanently has 6 arms.
Oops.
Yes. So it's a whole bunch of, almost Bishonen-style misadventures. It's wonderful stuff. So I may stop by and get the second volume. I picked up the first volume from him here last year, so he must be local.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm positive on tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So I think we will cut it there. It's been...
way too damn long.
Way too long, and I'm starting to get a low battery notice. So we're going to cut it there. Thank you for tuning in. Next show we do will be the show about the first volume of the New Avengers from 2005, issues 1 through 4.
All right.
All right. So I invite you to come again and roll with us next week. Thank you very much. Have a great holiday and have a great weekend. I am Jeremy.
And Jesse.
Don't jerk and drive. Take care. And remember, Mario loves you.